My name is Pastor Peter Pugh. I run a rehab called Redemption Recovery Centre. Recently we've just engaged with a diving lodge where we've brought down a couple of guys that have, through the merit-based program, have earned what they've received here today. And I'm very proud to say that all of them have qualified. And yeah, it's a proud moment. Watching guys on this trip, I've noticed that there is a certain brotherhood that's rised amongst them. An example of a leader, Vinesh, who is so used to instructing all day and giving orders and also encouraging people, was himself instructed and encouraged when he couldn't make it under the water by the guys that he basically instructs. Just observing that, you could see the brotherhood, the closeness, and the dynamic changed. They had a sudden dynamic. They were like, on the Friday they were leaving a very, routine-based process, and then they got down here, it was a little bit more relaxed. And you could see a lot of them started, we noticed on the food consumption and how guys had to get arranged, and it was a bit erratic, and then towards the end of the week, it became quite ordered and regulated, There's a lot of love, also allowing us to observe them in an environment like this. We can see where guys need some work. One of the biggest challenges we face is the next step. And a lot of people, try and find guys work, but they don't really match their skill set to obviously the workplace. And that's where we lose a lot of guys that relapse because they are set out from a very safe environment to obviously the confines of the world, and they haven't yet been able to slowly integrate. One of the merits of having a second option, a second phase, and the value of it is that we can safely say that we've still got our eyes on the guys for that 6 month where it's not as stringent and not as secluded. Now they're allowed to interact. We can start monitoring them much better to see where their weaknesses are. The most common observation is being socially inept. In other words, how to interact with people correctly and to make right choices. So I'm very thrilled that we are already in talks with Triton in respect to the next phase being a diving experience, and also a merit-based program with all the processes of the program that they're used to, and we just all we're doing is we're transferring them to a place that's a little bit more relaxed, but not dangerous. We all know that highly successful people are goal-orientated, and that's all we're implementing. We're specifically taking a drastic mind that thinks in loops of 5 and 10 years, and we're instructing them down to specifics from a day-to-day planning, week-to-week goal achievement, short-term, long-term month, and medium-term month and long-term the year, so they can really have an impactful experience because we have goal setting, which is a criteria within the program in the second phase. Once you start with the diving, the objective is to climb to a master's. So that means that you're in charge of setting up the beach, making sure equipment is done correctly, making sure guys are going down under. You're actually instructing the dive. You're in charge of a lot more. Your area base is a lot more. You have a lot more accountability. One of the drastic changes for me, and I'm just speaking from my experiences, is that when you regain everything through Christ, the drugs are not, although that they are still a thought, it's not an option, because your life has gained so much more that you've got so much more to lose. And the nice thing about the diving experience is that within 6 months, they climb the ladder so fast to becoming so in charge and experiencing so much accountability and responsibility. It makes it more of a negotiation when it comes to doing the drugs, because now you sit and you say, well, if I do it, I've got to lose it. And for us, it's quite a nice, for us as a team at Redemption, I feel totally secure in the value of that and how that is a pinnacle, because it allows someone to make a governed choice, because choice has to be made up of 2 options. left or right, wrong or right. It's always two options. And the nice thing now is they don't only have just one option, which is drugs. It's like drugs or leave everything that I've earned behind. My highlight's always, I mean, if you ask a doctor, you're always going to get a prognosis. If you ask an accountant, you're going to get the bottom line. If you ask someone that works with God and for God, you're going to get God answer. My highlight was watching God's beauty come alive. And it's amazing how you put the most beautiful creatures at a place where man can't even see it at the surface. You need to dive deeper. And I think that's just a metaphor for all of us. We need to dive deeper to see God's beauty, you know? And so that was my highlight. And also missing my family. It's a highlight because it tells me that I love them and they love me. So I'm looking forward to getting back.